안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean Wave. A brand new week with Monday's edition of the Culture Wave. I'm Kwon So-ah in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-trends, K-people, K-everything. And before you know, you'll be booking your flight to Korea. Our co-host this Monday, Walter Lee. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Soa. Lovely to be here like always. Hello, everyone. I'm your co-host today, and stick around for my K-Enter segment coming up very shortly.
Okay, very shortly. Looking forward to that. And we're also joined by Arirang News' culture correspondent Song Yoo-jin. Welcome, Yoo-jin.
Great to be back after week, Soa and Walter. Hello, I am Song Yoo-jin. I am Arirang News culture correspondent. Great to be back.
Yoo-jin, I am personally very excited about your news today. So what do you have for us?
Right, so today I have some exciting news from Germany, which really shows how far the Korean wave is reaching. So to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek, K-pop is now part of the lineup of one of the country's major broadcasters. So from 대한민국, which is the official Korean name of South Korea, to Deutschland, let's first take a look.
저스틴 팀피와 함께하는 프리츠, 최고의 음악 K-pop.
What you just heard is Germany's first regular K-pop radio show, Best Musik K-pop. Fritz, a radio station under a public broadcaster, und Funk Berlin Brandenburg, officially launched the show on October 14th. It's the product of months of collaboration between ALBB and the Korean Cultural Center, Germany. Justin Timpe is the show's host and producer. He fell in love with K-pop after first listening to BTS 10 years ago.
So perfectly produced, everything, like the music videos, like also the styles. They try new things, which I never heard before. Like you would never go and put a bit classic into a rap part and then a bit R&B, and then at the end we have pop.
Justin is involved in every step of the show, from researching trends to curating playlists, making sure the program is open to all listeners.
What I do is I look, what stars do we have over here? Like Dua Lipa, Coldplay, Bruno Mars. And then I check to what kind of K-pop songs do we have, which are very similar to them, and try to make the example. Like, hey, we have Dua Lipa. In Korea, you have someone else, like Jeon So-mi.
The 2-hour show offers more than just music. It introduces Korean dramas, films, and food, and features interviews with emerging K-pop artists. The response has been beyond expectations.
The day afterwards, I came to the station and people were overwhelming and they were saying, Justin, we never had a show with so much people writing us. This 2 hours of the first show will put in together everything we can hear and see from the K-pop scene.
Germany wasn't always the playground for the Korean wave. Asian dramas were rarely aired on TV, and K-pop was largely seen as niche culture. But now, that's changing.
K-pop's global rise has ignited interest here, and streaming services now allow instant access to Korean content for German viewers. ABB is one of the major broadcasters in the Berlin region, with Fritz attracting around 183,000 daily listeners. The launch of this program shows that K-pop is becoming part of the mainstream in Germany.
Justin hopes the show will be more than just a place to play music. He wants it to become a community for listeners.
They can talk not only with me, but also with the community, with the other people, about what's going on in their K-pop universe. I want to make K-pop more, let's say, closer, so that also people who are not into the scene directly can tune in and know what is K-pop.
If you want to know more about K-pop and Korea, tune into Best Musik K-pop every other Monday at 8 p.m. local time.
That is definitely great news for K-pop fans in Germany and
Right.
German-speaking countries, and also personally to me, because I was raised in Germany, and I have to say the perception of K-pop has changed immensely because when I used to listen to G.O.D., H.O.T., BoA, no one knew of those groups.
Right.
So this is definitely great news. And I think, Walter, in Australia, where you are from, they already have been playing K-pop music all day long in years ago, right?
Yeah, for instance, the show that comes to mind is actually SBS Pop Asia, which you will know about, a channel that plays K-pop and Asian music basically all day long, which has been launched for more than more than a decade, I think. And it's great to see that, you know, K-pop is just spreading throughout the world.
Yes, it is definitely. So, Yuzin, for those interested, how can they tune in to Best Music K-pop?
Well, first of all, I hope this show can become a big, long-running show, just like Walter mentioned. So, as I mentioned in my report, the show is on every other Monday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Germany local time. And the exciting news that it means today, it's airing its second episode, so you can tune in. Now, if you're listening through the radio, you can find Fritz's frequency for your region on their official website, and you can also stream it live or catch the replay on the website as well.
That means we can actually listen to it
here in Korea as well,
online. Right. Great news, right?
Yes, I'm definitely going to listen to it as soon as I can. So, yes, as you mentioned earlier, sorry, so you were saying something?
Sure. So you mentioned earlier that the interest in Korean culture is growing in Germany.
Right.
So I think the Korean cultural centers play a big role in that as well. So what kind of programs are there?
Right, so I spoke to Director Yang, the director of the Korean Cultural Center in Germany, and he says a primary focus of the center is reaching out to local elementary schools. So what the center does is it invites students, elementary school students, to the center so that they can have a lot of hands-on experiences. For example, learning Korean traditional calligraphy, seoye, trying Korean traditional hanbok, and also trying out Korean food. And Director Yang says that the goal of the center is to help these students become familiar with Korean culture from a young age, as early exposure to Korean culture tends to leave a lasting positive impression.
I'm sure it will. And I heard this year actually marks the 30th anniversary of the Korean Culture Center in Germany. Are there any programs or events that viewers of all ages can enjoy?
There definitely is. So one thing that's currently on, which started last Friday, is the 8th Korea Independent Film Festival. It kicked off last Friday once again at Berlin's Babylon Cinema. Now this event introduces Korean independent films to the local audience with German subtitles. So it has screened around 10 films each season, attracting an average of 1,000 attendees. But interestingly, last year, the number of attendees tripled to more than 3,200, which really shows the growing influence of K-culture. Now, this year, the festival will also screen 10 films until next Monday, which is November 4th.
Very happy to see this happening in Germany. And also, I believe many more film festivals, Korean film festivals, are running in Europe, such as in Hungary, as you mentioned before as well. So that's really great news. So thank you very much for that report, Yuzin.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Now time for Walter Lee's K-Enter News, starting off with news on not just one, but two BTS members, right?
Yes, that's right indeed. Now, where do I start? Because I don't want to feel like I'm favoriting one or the other.
Of course
but
not.
I think I'll start with Jin first. Now, according to the latest Spotify chart as of Saturday, Jin's new song, I'll Be There, surpassed 4.69 million streams on the day it was released, which was actually the past Friday as well, entering in 9th place on the daily top songs charts, global charts, sorry. The song also claimed the top spot in Japan's Oricon Daily Digital Single ranking, as well as #1 spot in 70 other countries on iTunes. Now, this song is actually a pre-release track to Jin's full album that's going to come out on November 15th, and it's called Happy.
Happy. That is really happy news for the fans. But who is the other BTS member you're going to mention?
As I said, no bias here. Jungkook is the next person I'm talking about. And he has also reached an impressive record on Spotify. We seem to be doing really well on Spotify these days. Now, Jungkook actually has reached a cumulative 500 days on Spotify's global top artists chart. Now, which makes him the first K-pop solo artist to achieve this milestone. Now, Jungkook also set the highest ranking for the K-pop solo artist on Spotify's global top artists daily ranking, which he reached 4th, which is great. Now, listen, I was going through a lot of his news today. There's so much I could actually talk about Jungkook, But unfortunately, we don't have time. We have to move on to our next story.
Yes, I wish we could talk about BTS all day long.
We could.
But Walter, what's next?
Yeah, so with the Seoul concert wrapped up on the 4th, 5th, and the 6th of October, 21 is now to set sail on their Asian tour. Their fandom, known as the Blackjacks, are looking very much forward to this, according to YG Entertainment on Saturday, who aren't their label anymore, but they are helping out with the concerts.
Right.
They said that the 2024, 25, 21 Asia tour, Welcome Back concert will start off next year in Bangkok on January 26th. And the tour will span over 9 cities in 20 different performances. Now, their Seoul leg was a huge success, and it was the first time they delivered a full outright performance in 10 years and 6 months. That's if we don't include that Coachella sort of stage performance that they had. That was more of a CL thing.
Right.
But yes, since they have been on the hiatus, they've moved away from YG Entertainment, though they are being helped by them. They've gone about on their own solo projects, but it's great to see them once again back together, as you and I are both 21 fans.
We are. I am thrilled to see their comeback. And I mean, 21 is one of the legendary so-called second generation girl groups of YG. And we're going to wrap up with another former YG member who was a part of a second generation boy group.
Yes.
So who are we talking about?
We are talking about G-Dragon. Yes, they came up around the same time, actually, 21 and Big Bang. So the Big Bang member G-Dragon released a second teaser image on his social media pages. Now, the teaser image shows a blank screen, basically, with the word error on it, which sparked curiosity amongst fans. Now, this actually follows his first teaser on his social media, which was simply just a blank black screen. No subtitle, no anything. So this led fans to speculate maybe he's going to have a comeback. And he's been on a 7-year and 4-month hiatus at the moment from music, which seems very long. I feel like I've seen him recently, but he's always, in the news. He's always doing something new. But G-Dragon's comeback will be a new experience for the artist, as it's his first piece of music, also moving away from YG Entertainment, and recently signed with Galaxy Corporation, which is an AI metaverse global entertainment company. Now, it hasn't been made official when he will come back exactly. However, he is due to perform at the 2024 Mamas Awards in Japan on November 23rd. These are alongside other artists such as aespa, Lee Young-ji, and also G-Idol as well.
He is definitely teasing his fans a lot here.
He is.
I am really looking forward to his comeback. And I heard that GD is also going to be on a Korean talk show on Wednesday local time. So maybe he will have another teaser out there.
Hopefully you'll give the fans something to enjoy.
Let's hope so. All right, thank you very much for those Enter News.
Yes, I'll
Walter.
stick around.
And now we move on to other culture-related news with our AI anchor, Ari.
Hello and welcome to the Culture Wave AI News. I am Ari, your AI guide to Korea's latest cultural news and information. Let's jump into our first story of the day. The Public Design Festival 2024 has kicked off centering in Seoul and Daejeon, aiming to enhance public space designs and revitalize local economies. The festival showcases over 180 innovative public design works across the two cities that emphasize this year's theme inclusivity, harmonizing generation, class, and region. The festival also features discussions with leading architects and designers on ways to build resilient and sustainable public spaces. The festival's grand award, now elevated to a presidential prize, was awarded to the renovation project of Omok Park in Seoul's Yangcheongu district. South Korea's Tan World Tulip Flower Festival clinched a prestigious award at the World Tulip Summit recently held in The Hague, Netherlands. The festival was highly praised for its advanced staging of the exhibition using a staggered blooming technique that allows tulip varieties to bloom at different intervals. This method was developed through a decade of rigorous data collection from testing thousands of tulip varieties. The Tan Tulip Festival is held every spring in Chungcheongnam-do Province, featuring over 2.6 million tulips of various shapes, colors, and characteristics. A large-scale temple inscribed with the lyrics of the Korean folk song Arirang has been erected in front of Egypt's Giza pyramids. This rare piece of artwork, titled Four Temples, was built by Korea's installation artist Kang Ik-ju. Arirang is written on the outer walls in Korean, English, Arabic, and hieroglyphics, while the inner walls feature some 5,000 drawings that convey messages of hope and dreams created by people from around the world, including children and refugees. The work is part of the Forever Is Now international art exhibition, which showcases works by 12 artists from various countries. That's all from me. Keep it tuned to the Culture Wave.
In today's Culture Issue segment, we delve into major K-pop issues of the month. For a closer analysis of them, we connect live to Professor Siderbao Seiji at Busan National University. Professor Seiji, happy to have you on the program.
Thank you, Soa.
All right, so let's start with some big solo comebacks by BLACKPINK members. Jennie released Mantra and Rosé released Apatu this month, almost back-to-back, just a week apart, under their separate solo contracts. So both songs have been doing extremely well. Professor, let's start with their achievements.
Well, like you said, they've been doing great. I checked last night. Mantra was up to 66 million views on YouTube, which demonstrates just how excited the audiences are. Of course, now there's also a performance video, so you can have your choice of which one to watch. It ended the week of October 26th at number 98 on the Billboard Hot 100. And so I'm hoping for a higher result for this next week. And it's doing well everywhere else, digital song sales chart and Spotify and all of that. So I think that Jennie is demonstrating that her new label, Odd Atelier, is able to really seal the deal for her and get her in front of even more new audiences around the world. And Rosé's Apatu is also doing absolutely fabulously. Bruno Mars, of course, brings extra attention because he is such a huge global star. And so the song at this point is up to 166 million views on YouTube, or as of last night, and it has earned what in Korean pop culture is called a perfect all-kill, which means that it has attained the top spot in every one of the domestic music platforms. So, Melon, Genie, Bugs, all of the different domestic platforms. And so this has been extremely strong release, just coming right off the gate and heading to the top spot on the US Spotify chart until, of course, Jungkook's new song came out. I mean, not Jungkook's new song, I'm sorry, Jin's new song came out. So many BTS things happening right now. So the song has really continued a winning streak across Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube Music. And we'll see how it does on Billboard when it gets to the next week of the Billboard chart.
Amazing figures there. But the new single tracks of both Jennie and Rose, they seem to be a little different from their previous solo tracks. So let's start a little bit with Jennie first. What makes Mantra different from her earlier solo songs?
Well, in a way, I see Mantra is very connected to the energy in Solo. Jennie's first release, it has that same sort of swagger. But unlike Solo, Mantra is written entirely in English. And I guess what has stood out to me and a lot of other fans around the world is the line, you know, she's that stunna, make you want to swing both ways, which is the sort of ultimate assertion of being universally attractive on the one hand, but it falls quite outside of the norm, the conservative norm in Korea. And so that's been quite interesting to see the reactions to this very strong statement. She worked with 5 different songwriters and 4 producers. None of them were Korean. So we can definitely see that the song has come out not exactly sounding like a stereotypical K-pop release. There's been some criticism about the length of the song. It's just a little over 2 minutes long. But personally, I like it. I just wish it went on longer. I like Jennie, and I hope her next release can quiet some criticism about her not showing off her talent as much as showing off her phenomenal beauty.
Okay, now Walter, to your favorite member.
Yes, I was about to say, we're about to talk about one of my favorite K-pop songs at the moment. For sure, that's Rosé's Apart featuring Bruno Mars. Now, this was in the spotlight even before the song was out. The addictive melody and the straightforward lyrics, some of the features that characterize the songs. I mean, my father-in-law, who's well into his 70s, knows the song at the moment, and he sings it to my daughter, and it's just all over the world. So, speaking as an expert, how do you assess Apart?
Well, I actually love Apart. I find it to be the most K-pop feeling of the recent releases because it reminds me of these late nights drinking with Korean friends, and with a strong Korean pronunciation of Apart, even though we don't get other Korean words in the song, it really feels quite Korean to me. It also feels like a clear musical departure from both Rosé's previous work and the very well-known BLACKPINK sound. And so I was really, really happy with how the song came out. I do see a lot of people online drawing connections to Tony Basil's song Mickey, partially because 2 of the songwriters were also from Apart, were also part of Mickey. I listened to Mickey growing up because of my age, and honestly, I don't hear that much similarity. I feel like we really are seeing Rosé's personality, Bruno Mars's personality, and quite a unique song.
I have to agree with you on that. And I think we both also grew up listening to
the
Mickey song as well. But Apart not only is the Korean way to say apartment, but it's also the name of a drinking game, as we know. So because of this song, many people around the world are now having their attention on K-drinking games. So Professor Seiji, do you think this could spark another new K-wave?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we saw lots of Korean games spotlighted on Squid Game too. So maybe there is something about Korean games. But, you know, there are other artists also like So Eve, who has released a couple of recent songs, Mara Tang Huru and Kung Kung Da, which are also incorporating these same sorts of, you know, traditional children's or drinking songs. And we do see this in K-pop. We see lyrics coming from, you know, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, or, you know, lyrics about the colors of a monkey's rear end and stuff like that. So I think that the larger lesson is that K-pop really draws inspiration from all over. And because we have these memories of playing these games as children or as young adults, it can make a song stick with us longer. It can really connect with us because we have this longer term connection, and it's really fun to see some people from outside of Korea now getting to know some of these Korean kids culture or young person's culture, because a part is both a kids game and a drinking game. Like it wasn't only a drinking game.
Right.
That's really interesting that you mentioned how it sticks to people. And that brings me to my next question, Professor. Well, I guess what's noticeable about these two songs is that they're both in English, or most of it is 99.9% in English. Do you think this actually played a significant factor or role in the results of that we're seeing it in the global charts?
Well, I mean, these two artists are very comfortable in English, and it is a language spoken by people around the world. So it would be selfish for us to somehow say you debuted as K-pop artists, so you should continue to release only in Korean. And they have been, written, produced, recorded outside of Korea, working with, talent from beyond Korea. And so doing it in English makes sense for these songs. But honestly, I think that their fans would listen to songs in any language that they release in. I think Lisa could release a song in Thai and she'd get the same numbers that she gets when she releases in English. It's about the image that these women have. It's about the catchiness of songs that are resonating with current pop cultural trends. And personally, I'm just waiting for Jisoo to release another great Korean song like Flower, which has been my...
We would love that. So Professor Seiji, thank you very much for your insights today. We focused on these solo comebacks by two BLACKPINK members. I hope that we're going to talk about other issues again in the near future. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
And that brings us to the end of our program today. Thank you again, Walter. I'll talk to you again soon.
See you soon.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave, and hope you join us again on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Korea time, and maybe one day here in Korea.